Alright, for this first part of the video, you see me using Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. I already prepped these panels with a gray Scotch-Brite. Then I cleaned them off. I use this stuff because I haven't seen it react negatively to any of the Auto Air or AutoBorne stuff. I use it all the time. Trying to get a 50% overlap on this, and I only used one coat of this for these panels here, and these are just prep panels. I'm just putting black on them so I can use them later for other projects. Right here we're in the first coat of the AutoBorne Sealer Black. I have it reduced about 10% just because I'm using the 1.2 tip size, and for the 1.3 it says you don't need to reduce it at all, but since I'm using the 1.2 I decided to go ahead and reduce it a little under 10%. Just so that I can get it to flow out a little better. You can see on each panel I'm trying to stay as parallel to the surface as possible, and I'm also trying to get that 50% overlap just so I don't get streaking. And you can see in those first two panels it kind of looks mottled, but with additional coverage that'll go away. It's pretty common with the Auto Airline sealers and other colors as well. And I'm using my Iwata LPH80 with the 1.2 tip and E4 cap, and the cup system I'm using, some of you might ask, is the 3M PPS system. It's got a disposable lid and liner, and it also has a little insert that you can put into the cup that allows you to get the measurements right. And it's got like 1:1 on there, and 2:1:1, and 3:1. So I chose to get those. They're kind of expensive, but if you're going to invest in something like an LPH80, you might as well get something like that. And here I'm using my heat gun just to heat set my AutoBorne sealer. And you know that with pretty much all Auto Air and AutoBorne sealers and colors that you heat set in between each coat just so that all that water evaporates, because you don't want that underlying layer to have a little bit of water under it, because if it does, then it'll lift later or you'll have issues. Here's the second coat going on. You can see I'm trying to get that 50% overlap again, and you can see that that modeling is going away with the second coat of coverage. Here I noticed that I should have my fluid needle pulled out just a little bit more. I started spraying, so I said forget it and just kept going. On this next coat and the third coat, you're actually going to see me pull the material knob out a little bit so I get a lot more material to come out, so I get a lot more coverage. You see I'm still trying to stay about 6 inches away from the surface. It's giving me that nice even coverage, and you can see the stuff goes on like silk. I really like it. And it's pretty durable. Once you heat set it, you can go over it with a tack cloth with no problems at all. Here is my third coat. You're going to notice how much more material comes out with this, because I went and backed off my material knob just a little bit more. You can see how fast it's covering now with this third coat. And the AutoBorne bottle says that 2 to 3 coats should give you enough coverage, and I pretty much get full coverage on this third coat because of that. I could have reached it on 2 coats had I done this to start with, but I also didn't use that much material. I think I only used about 2 ounces of this stuff total, if that, and I didn't even go through the full 2 ounces when I was spraying. So I've got a little bit of the material saved in another bottle. Right, this coat here was just a 4th coat I felt like putting on since I had a little bit more material. I still have more material after this, but this was just something that I felt I needed to put on for surety, if you will, just so I knew absolutely sure that later on there wouldn't be any streaking in it, and that there would be no issues with a mottled look. And I go in after this and I use some transparent base to go ahead and seal all this in. Alright, here's this coat of transparent base, and as you can see, I'm still about 6 inches away from the surface. You can't really see it going on. If I put it on a little thicker, you could see it go on and it would look milky. But I'm only doing this because if I decide that I want to clear coat over just the sealer, you're not allowed to clear coat directly over the sealer with a 2-part clear, because it'll react and you'll get almost a pinhole looking effect when that happens, and it'll pretty much ruin your whole day. And I do, I think, 3 coats of this total before I'm done with it. And I mix this up the same way I mixed up the AutoBorne, about 10%, a little less than 10%. Here is the second coat of transparent base. You can see me, I'm just kind of dusting off whatever little bit of dust got onto the surface. Still 6 inches away, and if you look really closely, you can see I kind of hammered it on those first 2 passes, and you can see it's kind of milky toward the top, but then it goes away as it dries. You don't have to really worry about that. Try not to slam this stuff on or any of the water-based products, because if you do, you're going to see that pigment migration, and as a lot of the pros say in their videos, it's pretty much impossible to fix. You got to sand it down and start over. So try avoid slamming this stuff on. Alright, here is my third and final coat of transparent base. You can see a common theme. I'm trying to stay about 6 inches away from the surface. 50% overlap, just so I don't get any kind of streaking. The transparent base dries transparent, so you might not see the streaking even if you do get it, but I try to get that even coverage just in case there's a little spot that's weaker than the rest, and if I put the 2K clear over it, it'll react in that specific area, and I'll have to try to go back and fix it. I have all these panels secured down. You can kind of see that second one from the top, or second one from the bottom, kind of coming up. I've got tape on the back of them so they don't fly up on me.